I'm back. Oh, it's been a minute, hasn't it? I could tell you and give you stories about what's been going on in my life, but that is not why you're here. You're here for the burn with me, Ryan Van Deeper, presented to you by Hot Zone Sports. The information that you need to know with you in mind. For the people, by the people, and with the people. Join the Hot Zone Sports community today. Make sure you like the videos, subscribe, and share it with your friends. It's Tuesday, October 1st, and it is time for my new segment, the Hot Zone Sports Chain of Command. In this segment, we're going to go over the top 10 NFL teams according to me. Number 10, the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith, man, he throws a beautiful ball. He is really in tune with DK Metcalf, which really shouldn't surprise many people. DK Metcalf is an absolute pure beast for the Seahawks. I like their running backs. Geno leads the NFL in passing yards. He's second in completion percentage. Then you got Kenneth Walker. I was really just blown away by Seattle and didn't have their fourth best defensive lineman against the best. The whole line in the league, you knew they wouldn't make stops. I thought Geno was exceptional on Monday. On the road, I have Seattle at 10. Number 9, the Texans' only loss this season has come on the road to the Vikings. Yeah, they're on the list today too. They got housed. They didn't have Joe Mixon, but their top 8 deep offense, top 5 defense, and CJ Stroud is just, I don't know how you can't love that man. Coming as a Colts fan, I don't like the Texans, but here we go. CJ Stroud is just a lovable guy. Anyway, Joe Mixon's coming back. CJ Stroud is still a young quarterback, no matter how many of these experts think that he's a veteran. He's only been in the league for 1 year and 4 games. To see Caleb Williams this past week when he got a run game with DeAndre Swift, Caleb looked pretty good. There's no surprise that if your quarterback is doing well, it is because he has a good running game. Peyton Manning usually had a good running game. Tom Brady usually had a good running game. Patrick Mahomes, well, he did have a good running game until Pacheco went down. But as good as CJ Stroud is, and he's got his weapons like Nico Collins, young quarterbacks especially need their quarterbacks. Joe Mixon returns. I got Houston at 9. Number 8, the Packers. It's weird that the Packers are 0-2 with Jordan Love and 2-0 without him. They lead the league in they lead the NFL in big plays. But I do appreciate the structure of the Packers from top to bottom. It is a great structure, and that is what you need with a young team. But Jordan Love hasn't had many snaps due to his injury, and he's not quite ready yet. He's going to have to knock that rust off. However, the offense did look better in the second half rather than the first. They also lead the NFL in takeaways, showcasing a feisty and aggressive defense. Something fans have been waiting for the Packers to focus on for years. Why can't the defense be as good as the offense? Well, despite the rustiness, I believe the Green Bay is an ascending team. They're going to be a dangerous team in the NFC this year. It's a young team with a quarterback who's still finding his rhythm. The Packers are going to be fine. Do not push that panic button yet, Packers fans. Number 7, Washington Commanders. I don't know really what to do with the Commanders yet. Don't sue me. But they are breaking every single record offensively, something Jaden Daniels is familiar with when he played at LSU last year. Jaden Daniels was thought like he was going to be like Lamar Jackson, or he was going to be Lamar Jackson light. Is he, or is he just Lamar Jackson? I mean, this kid is absolutely ridiculous. Just doing my research for the podcast, looking at his stats, he has 5 total touchdowns and 6 incompletions over the past 2 games. Yeah, that's wild. I do think that Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator hire, and I predicted that this was going to happen, that Washington could be a dark horse playoff team. Now, flushing out all the bad vibes, the bad owner bringing an entirely new organization in, the owner down for the first time in the decade, everything is good vibes. There's nothing but half glass full positivity going on here. Now, once again, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. And I also don't know if there's going to be regression and when the regression is going to come. It usually happens, though, with rookie quarterbacks. But I am not going to group Jaden Daniels in with all of these rookie quarterbacks because he has been the only rookie quarterback this season that has just been ridiculous. But I thought Arizona was one of the better picks of the week, and they blew out the Cardinals. Was just this is wild to me. But I got Washington at number 7. Number 6, I know they won, but that defense on the back end, Jared Goff, once again, is the strength of this team. And nobody wants to acknowledge it. I said it last season. I'll say it again. You need to acknowledge this man. He is a top 8 quarterback, but right now, he's playing like he's a top 5 quarterback. And no, I ain't capping. He's completing 88% of his throws. They've got an over-the-top wide receiver. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have 2 backs I like. And they have a great offensive line. Now, the downside is I still don't like Dan Campbell when it comes to situational football. He always finds a way to screw things up. I'm trying to keep my curse words low. It is hard not to be a good team, though, when you are dominating on the running game and you are dominating on the offensive line and you have a very capable Super Bowl quarterback. I know fans hate on Goff, but he is the strength of this team. And it's about time we give him his flowers. So, Jared Goff, here are your flowers. That was weird, whatever. They're just going to win a lot of games. They're going to mash a lot of people. They're going to show their strength up front on both sides of the football. It's not going to be pretty. But that is how they are going to win games. And I have Detroit at number 6. Number 5, Buffalo. the Buffalo Bills. They're getting some of their linebackers back who were injured. They were an absolute catastrophe this past week. And they just ran into a complete buzzsaw in the Baltimore Ravens. And a quarterback that you might know of by the name of Lamar Jackson. He does that at home a lot. He has done that a lot over the years. He blew out the Niners and the Lions last year in Miami. I'm not going to sell any type of Buffalo stock this week or anytime soon. I think they have offensive balance between Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, Keon Coleman. He's on the come up. He looks special to me. Now, if you look at all these Kansas City games, they all look the same. Buffalo doesn't. Buffalo, they can be different from week to week. That's the kind of DNA I still think they're good. I have Buffalo at 5. Number 4, San Francisco 49ers. So now they're getting their guys back. Debo and Kittle. They don't have Christian McCaffrey, but the reality is they lead the NFL in time of possession. Kind of easy to do when your running game is absolutely demolishing the other team. It's still Shanahan, Brock Purdy, Debo Samuel, Kittle, Ayuk, Jennings. I mean, come on. When this team is fully healthy, with or without Christian McCaffrey, because we don't know how long he's still going to be out, it's a really good football team. And again, Fred Warner is playing linebacker at a level we have not seen for a very, very long time. I am not worried about San Francisco here. They are still one of the more elite teams in the NFL, and once the injuries start to taper off, look out NFC, look out AFC, look out NFL. The 49ers will start to take over. I have San Francisco at number 4. Number 3, it's the Ravens. I will never sell any of my Ravens stock either. They look like the fastest team in the league. If Kansas City's got the fastest defense, they have the fastest offense. And who knows? Maybe Lamar Jackson will be able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs this year. Maybe they won't. But with Derrick Henry and that number 1 rushing offense, they are very dominant in every game they play in when it comes to rushing the ball. Yeah, what they are not dominant in is they're not very good on the back end. Everybody's got a flaw. Every team has a weakness. That is the weakness. Everybody's got a hole. The Chiefs, their hole right now is wide receiver. Now with Rashee Rice being gone, well, it hasn't come out yet, but you can expect it to come out. If you haven't seen my video on Facebook, yeah, ugly. Patrick Mahomes got to feel like hell. That's all I got to say about that. Ravens have a little bit of a hole. I like Kyle Hamilton. Maybe they have a cornerback issue, but I'm not going to sell my stock in any fashion or form. Derrick Henry leads the league in rushing with Lamar. Baltimore or Buffalo literally looked like they were waving the flag Monday night. Like, they had 0 answers whatsoever. 9 yards per play. Number 2, Minnesota. I do not think this is a fluke. I didn't buy the Saints when they were doing this type of deal for the first few couple of weeks. I'm not sure if I ever bought into the Jets after they beat New England, but I do buy into the Minnesota Vikings. Everything is working for the Vikings. Hashtag Skull. Their defensive coordinators are excellent. Their special teams are just consistent. Their offense has been amazing so far. Their head coach is just off the wall. Like, he's basically like Sean McVay, just taller. They're not and then if you actually look against the spread, if you're into betting, they're not only 0-4, they're 4-0 against the spread. They're beating people badly. Darnold leads the NFL in touchdown passes, passer rating, and the defense leads the NFL in sacks. It's not a star-studded defense either. It's not Kansas City where you can see it completely disrupting people and it's the same 2 or 3 guys. It's Chris Jones every week wreaking havoc. It's not that, but it's good. And it's exceptionally coached that I have Minnesota at number 2. Number 1. All right, hold your applause. Mahomes is 18-14 when trailing by 10 or more points. If you want an absurd stat, there you go. But the other thing that we have to acknowledge is Rashee Rice. He had become a pretty elite wide receiver for the Chiefs. And you can cross your fingers, but it's not looking good for him. But Xavier Worthy, he's not a volume guy. He's an over-the-top guy. Are they going to be at the trade deadline in the market for a wide receiver? I'm not quite sure. They have a little over $4 million in cap space, so I don't see how they can restructure and go get a Devontae Adams. The math is not mathing with me. They'll probably do a next man up type of deal where they call up Justin Ross and or Nico Remigio from the practice squad. They won last year without Worthy. They didn't even have an over-the-top wide receiver at that point last year. Again, the Chiefs' structure is really good, but Mahomes, if you've been watching their games, you have seen that he has been throwing some nasty, ugly picks. It happened the last game against the Chargers. He's thrown 5 picks, and by my calculation, 4 of those have been just really ugly. At this point, I don't fully trust him. Every game looks the same for the Chiefs. People have been saying this for weeks. They just look like New England. And if you even want to go to the route, hey, New England got the calls too. Yeah, okay. They might get the calls too. I mean, how many great receiving cores did New England have, if we want to talk about it? Not many. How many years did they have Randy Moss? I mean, Julian Edelman, would you call him elite? And then all the other guys? No. I always felt like they had an element or they'd have a Welker when they hadn't lost. They didn't win a Super Bowl. But something is going to have to happen. There's a lot of players, a lot of wide receivers in free agency. But I believe from what I saw today, the Chiefs have $4.9 million in cap space. Even if you try to trade for an Amari Cooper or a Devontae Adams, it's going to be more than 4.9. So there's going to have to be some restructuring going on or something's going to have to happen. But I don't have a lot of faith in the Chiefs. Yes, they are 4-0. Yes, they are one of 2 teams that are 4-0 in the NFL, the other being the Vikings. But I don't have a lot of faith that they will be able to three-peat if their offense is just meh. That is it for the Hot Zone Sports Chain of Command. This week's top 10 in the NFL. If you agree, disagree, comment, and say why. Yeah, let's move on to the top 5 most unsatisfying teams so far in the NFL this season. Number 5, the Arizona Cardinals. Sweet Mother Mary. My concern for them is they gave the Bills a scare. And you're like, okay, good enough. And then they go home against the Rams and destroy them. Like, the game was basically over at halftime. To destroy them, and then they lose their next two, and they're at home. They had a 3-game homestand, and they went 1-2 on it and got progressively worse. They got smoked by the Washington Commanders. Now they're going to San Francisco. After that, they got Green Bay. They're home for the Chargers on a Monday night. Yeah, they've given up the 3rd most points in the league. Wow. I thought they'd be better. Quite frankly, that's number 5 on my list. Number 4, I'm putting the Bengals here. I know you heard me hyping up the Bengals after they lost to the Chiefs. Oh, they're gonna recover. Don't worry about the Bengals. There. You happy? I slapped myself. I had them winning the AFC South this season. And I know they just came up with their win and you're feeling good about yourself, Bengals fans. Okay, but you started 0-2. Again, the 3rd loss to the Commanders at home. That one, that one really gave you a little black eye there. We'll see if you can actually dig yourselves out of this 8-foot hole, what it feels like. But 1-3, I didn't expect the Bengals to start 1-3. That was not on my 2024 NFL bingo card. Come on now. Even with T. Higgins hurt and Jamar Chase looking for that new contract, you kind of hope that the Bengals dig out of their funk for the season, because when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are on the top of their game, it is better for the league. It is better for the AFC. It means more competition for the Bills, for the Ravens, for the Chiefs. And when they're just in the dumpsters, it's one less team, one least amount of competition. Like, you can't have Joe Burrow go to Burrowhead and win if you're playing like hot trash. Anyway, number 3. Put them at number 3 because it's not their fault that Tua Tagovailoa made the moment. I'm sure everybody wishing we could take back. I still can't believe he's still in the league at this point with all of the concussions that he's had. He's like Troy Aikman, but his junior by like 15 years. I don't fucking know. Oh, God. I just, for that split moment, he just Tua forgot that he could slide. He got the first down, slide. He didn't. And now the Dolphins are where they're at. But in that game, he had already thrown 3 interceptions against the Bills, and he went straight forward instead of sliding. And now he's concussed, and the Dolphins plan behind him already blew up in their faces. Thompson was not going to be the answer, And you could tell that Huntley is not going to be the answer because he had that deer in the headlights look. I mean, there's a reason why he was a free agent, I guess. I mean, I would have thought you would have brought in Tannehill, but all right, whatever. But hey, why don't you trade for Russell Wilson? At least you have a franchise quarterback for you. I don't know, $1 million against the cap. What the hell? Just trade for him. That's what I say. But hey, I'm just a guy. But the Dolphins are they are like a raft in the middle of the ocean. They are just adrift. And they're 1-3, and they're once again the first team since the 2017 Browns to go through the first 4 games of a season and not lead for a single second. Those 2017 Browns went 0-16. They won't go 0-16, but you catch what I'm saying here. That's how disappointing the Dolphins are. Number 2, I'm putting the Browns here. I don't know what the heck is going on. And I know Deshaun Watson threw one to Amari Cooper in Vegas. That got called back. This is just, it's nothing. You gotta hold by the backup center. Nothing's working. Nothing. I don't know what in the world is happening. They're lucky to have that one win against the Jaguars. Really. Otherwise, they could be 0-4. How much are you paying Deshaun Watson? Fully guaranteed contract. Was it worth it, guys? Also, just saying, if you checked out my Facebook today, you would have known that they didn't even offer Joe Flacco a contract. When he came in for Deshaun Watson this previous season and just killed it, they didn't even offer him. Oh, Joe Flacco throws interceptions. He sure did good for the Colts, where they actually got a win. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. But hey, you got Jameis Winston as a backup. That's good. That's good. All right, back on topic. All right. They got beaten at home by the Giants, and the Cowboys beat them up in week 1. And they're just, man, they just went to Vegas and won a game where Devontae Adams and Max Crosby's out. They should have won that game. They lost. Watson was 24 of 32 for 176. That's putrid. Number 1, the most disappointing team of 2024 thus far. I think it's a hands down. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the owner said it's the best team that they were going to have in a long time. And it's time to win. And they haven't won yet. You know, Dolphins were number 3 on the list. Most disappointing. Their own win. Their only win is against Jacksonville. I don't know what's going on here. They came so close this week. But as many know, I am a glass half full type of guy. I have a lot of optimism. So here it is. You can come back to 3-4. You got to beat the Colts at home, and then you got to go to London where you can band together as a team. And then once you get to 3-4, you can see how it goes. But don't talk about a disappointing start. 0-4 is the top of the list, and I don't think we need one. All right. I'll give you one more. And I think you know where the heck I'm headed here. You want both teams in the NFC who are 2-2, the Cowboys and the Eagles. Both disappointing in their own rights. And you know, These teams are 2-2, and I mean, sorely disappointing. Both teams are sorely disappointing. I could talk for hours about both of these teams and how catastrophic their season has started out. It's the way they won their two in a way, and it's a way that I could see them having. I could see them being on a struggle bus, still moving forward. Like you have the Eagles, who Nick Sirianni. I might get some hate from this, but he shouldn't be the head coach of the Eagles. He wasn't ready. He doesn't call any plays. The one year they were good was when they had Shane Steichen and he was calling the plays. He doesn't. He's not on good terms with Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts, ever since Shane Steichen left, has gone completely downhill. And then you have the Cowboys, who, if they would have just opened up that checkbook just a little bit more, you could have had Derrick Henry if you would have even offered him. But instead, you're stuck with Ezekiel Elliott, who is past his prime, and you don't really have anybody else. So now, because you were so damn stupid in the NFL draft that you refused to draft anybody worth a shit, that you just want to stay pat and say, okay, we're stuck in the mud. My name's Jerry Jones. I don't give a shit. So that's the way that's going to roll. Anyway, that is my top 5 most disappointing teams. Technically 7, whatever. We're not counting here. This is not math class. At the quarter post point of the NFL season, stay tuned for more. But that is all for The Burn. I hope you all enjoyed it. I will be back talking about many other things. I can't give you a clear date on that. But just make sure you click the subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Because guess what? If you don't click it, you're not going to get a ticket. No, if you don't click it, you're not going to get all my stuff. You're not going to be able to see all of this freaking amazing content. Are you kidding me? So click it or ticket. I don't know. That's a police thing right there. I'm not sure. Anyway, Hot Zone Sports is logging off. I hope everybody has an absolutely amazing Tuesday, and I will get back to you soon. So go ahead and like, comment, and share these videos. Get them out to the world and give your boys some love. All right. Peace out.